What's going on, fam? This is KR Jones of the Off the Strength podcast, and I am here to tell you to like, listen, subscribe, and if you're feeling freaky, visit offthestrength.com. That's where you can go and get more information on us. That's where we can link, we can build, we can connect, and let's make this thing work.
I came out of high school initially wanting to do advertising and marketing, so it's ironic that I slipped into what I'm doing right now. But then, you know, right before senior year, they always say, oh, well, we're going to start lining your classes up so you can prepare yourself for college. You got to talk to your guidance counselor about all that stuff. For some reason, I was like, listen, man, all my friends come to me with their relationship issues, so I want to do psychology, relationship counseling. So all that stuff stems from a place, and I ended up where I am. So it's ironic that all that happened. For me, I got to say, whether it was family, friends, and things hitting home, I've been blessed enough to say that, like, yo, the pandemic hasn't been severely rough for me. And certain things within a mental and wellness space kind of prepared me. I keep the crib secluded. Everybody don't know where I live. You know, a bunch of people think I stay here, a bunch of people think I stay there. Used to have places here, used to do this, used to do that. And I don't know sleeping on people's couches stuff. Like, it was never no struggle in life. Like, you know, nah, we're not doing that. Respectfully, but slightly disrespectfully.
Of course.
You know, listen, I didn't go across country to chase my dreams. I didn't have to sleep on the couch. That wasn't what happened for me. But if you did and you made it, love to you. I want to change it. I want to claim it. I want to paint it. She quick to say no because she knows she a diamond. She getting quiet. She on the diet. She want a massage. Trying to get intimate. Bank account never diminish.
What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome back to yet another episode of Off the Strength, where we're giving you an inside look into all things wellness culture. I'm a trainer called Tony, and of course, with me, I have some gentlemen of extraordinary league guys. Let's go across these couches and introduce ourselves, please.
Your trainer, Corey, a.k.a. your favorite trainer's favorite trainer.
KR Jones is in the building.
And for the viewers out there in viewer world, as we now are calling them.
It's actually
viewer land, my bad. Brother Jones.
What's up?
Do you want to let them know why this is a very special show in general right now, the viewers out in viewer world?
Man, this is a special show because we got this product placement right here first and foremost.
Brother's still plugging his stuff. Ricky, I was trying to get him to shout you out, bro, but
hit me out.
Kyle's been plugging himself for the last two episodes.
That's what we're here for.
His own plug,
you know?
just so you know.
He's playing solo ball. ISO Kyle is here today.
I am my own plug, but no, this is a special episode, Tony, because we got the homie, the player partner, the shoe connoisseur, you know what I'm saying? The photographer extraordinaire,
definitely
overall creative being.
Never not fresh.
You know what I'm saying?
Always and forever.
The Mr. Know Your Dope himself.
Better believe it.
Returning guest of the show, Ricky Shoebio is here with us.
Hey, make some noise, Ricky, one time. What's going on, brother? Looking good.
Listen, appreciate y'all. Y'all looking good, man. It's been a while, you know, like, glad to be back. Been following y'all brothers and all the elevation. You know, I'm happy to see it's been nothing but prosperity through everything we're going through. So much love to y'all brothers.
Man, thank you.
Good to see you.
Of course.
Good to see you.
Now, much love to you, and we're glad to have you back. So for the new listeners that we have these
We
days,
got a few of them.
A few in
Shout out to Sri Lanka.
listening land. Shout out to you. You know who I'm talking to. Now, I want you to, in your words, introduce yourself to the people. Let's reintroduce you and what it is that you do and who it is that you are, brother.
Ricky Shoebio, and they definitely ran off with more stuff than Apollo Creed. Like, I would definitely, like, you know, the Count of Monte Fisto, I'm out here. Nah, man, you know, listen, at a point I was Mr. Deliveries.
Deliverance!
As you guys said, Mr. Know Your Dope himself, the founder, but not the only one, because there's a lot of brothers at that table, and I'm glad my brothers taking their time right now to step up to the light, so we definitely going to talk about that. But visual conceptionist, visual conceptionist.
I'm whirling.
Yeah, there we go. Conceptualizing the visual aspirations that are generated in my medulla oblongata for the people. Yeah, man, creative director, content creator, photographer, host, consultant, general, pretty dressed well guy at times. I can piece together a pair of shoes with some socks pretty well at times. And they sometimes go with my fitted my watch.
Come on.
As I wear this vintage shirt from a long time ago. But yeah, man, just a brother that's been working and doing what I can to help elevate some of the cultures that we love, that we grew upon, that we're immersed in, and trying to put on for others, man, trying to inspire daily. That's the biggest thing. Like, at the end of the day, I could be all that other stuff, but if people tell me I was an inspiration, then I did it right.
You better believe it, brother. I'm here for it.
I see your growth, brother, hitting the shoulders. I see you.
Yeah, listen.
I see you.
Listen, man, this is at the big chop, because I think, Jones, when you first met me, joint was crazy. Like, it was a big chop.
Yeah. Cut the locks just a little bit so you can fit in these hats.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, it's like, you know what? You can't wear Scullies in the summer without, you know, that's like black Air Force energy. Like, you know, it's like, is he going to rob me?
You woke up and chose violence this morning.
You chose violence. Listen, it's not even that. I went to sleep on violence. It ain't what I woke up on. It was decided before I woke up. Yeah. And this is where we at. But yeah, it's just, I'm glad to have it growing. It's at the right length, I mean, for me right now with the hats and stuff, because I was once told, your dread's too long to have so much facial hair and all that stuff. You got to choose one. This is my sister. I was like, damn, you cold. We related. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me that.
Yeah. You got to dress.
That's aggressive. He's like, listen, you can't have that much beard and your dreads be that long. You got to make a decision. So I was like, you know what? I've been walking around with the creep stash for a little while. I let my mustache grow in properly. It's lower than I wanted to be now.
I won't take any offense to that.
It's all good. Listen. I showed up last time with a mighty pervy stash and I was hurt, man. Like, that was on, I'm sorry I disappointed the people.
The eyeliner joint?
Oh, yeah. You know, definitely.
On stage.
Definitely. Like, listen, is that milk? like, yo.
Yo, don't hate on the puberty joint, man. Tone is doing what he can right now. You know what I mean?
I'm proud of my
that's a quality mustache, because I can't be out here like Carl Winslow. It's all about balance. Like, I'm not on Tom Selleck time. Like, it's not Tom Selleck. It's not Carl Winslow now, man. We not doing that no more. Listen, to all y'all brothers and people out there in TV land and listening land and every world and universe that we talk about, y'all that's rocking them handlebar mustaches with no chin hair.
Yo.
Listen.
Problematic.
Listen.
You know what?
It's more than problematic. Like, I wish nothing positive on your life, because I'm highly concerned.
You look real black dude in the Navy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Listen, not even black dude in the Navy. Like, your mustache made 3 turns. Like, it's not a full, like, you know what? I got lost. I made 3 rights and I just stopped on his face. Like, I hope something goes viral in your life and you lose your job. That's how I feel about y'all.
You talking about the peninsula joint?
Yeah, the joint. Yeah, listen.
This is real problematic.
Like, listen,
yeah, I feel you.
Y'all looking like
off and off the strength portion of the show.
It's a lot of energy right there, man.
Listen.
Your mustache looks like a nice house's driveway.
Listen, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Listen, Hollywood Hogan, you mighty confused. Listen, take all that racism off your face.
That's a hanging mustache right there.
Yes.
In that same vein of growth.
Yes. Listen,
that we are on.
watch this.
Fellas.
That's a pivot.
Right? Listen, you know why? Because my growth has hit a point that I've fully realized I'm all about duality.
Okay.
It's all about dualism.
Okay.
I'm all about duality. So that's where it is. Like, it's all about the balance for me. So there is just as much on each side for me, man. Like, I was so focused on elevating my growth to get, I'm not gonna say past certain things, and all these are jokes. Like, let's keep it real. But I've realized that, like, moderation and balance is so much of my focus and my different points of wellness now that it's so much of everything. So that's why when I'm on what I'm on right now, like, people will see me, and it even started to translate and sprinkle into the work, because brothers is like, yo, well, you was heavy on the sneakers and now it's home aesthetic. You out here talking about, I've been telling people to go, all throughout last year, I've been telling people to go to therapy. I've been telling all people to go to therapy. I sat down with my pops. I was like, yo, Pop, go to therapy. And he was like, yo, why? Because your mom? Because we lost your mom? I was like, nah, not off mom. I was like, yo, bro, like, listen, you had to get out the crib at 16. What traumas you got that you ain't never addressed?
Mm-hmm.
That may have slightly trickled down to me. That I'm going to snap, but I also don't want you to give to the grandkids when I eventually have them. So it's just like, oh, man, so you can live the best life you can live. And it's not for somebody to solve your problems or things like that. Yo, talk through something with somebody that you may have never considered. Because I had to talk to somebody that used to work for me yesterday. And he was talking to me about the differences between him and his lady, specifically like how he's so logical and calculated. And I said, he told me he went to therapy. I said, let me guess, your therapist told you that calculation, I hope she told you, because she told me it was she, hope she told you that the reason why you're so logical, so critical, so much of a thinker most likely stems from a moment that was triggered at some point of trauma that either happened to you or you watched something happen to somebody else and you said, I can't never have that path. I said, now let me guess on top of that and stack that. At this point, you overthink and you're overcritical on so many things now, and it's led you down this path. And he was like, his girl's a free thinker, and she's just like, you know what? I won't put as much thought into her. I said, let me guess, everything that she fucking does works out for her. He was like, yeah. I said, and she be coming to you for advice. Y'all be going at it and shit from time to time because she don't always take your advice. I said, let me guess, that burns you up, the fact that the shit that she didn't put as much thought into it works out for her, even though she ain't followed the shit and didn't have to do as much. I said, bro, y'all got to learn from each other. It takes that balance. I mean, because you did everything you can to make sure you didn't go down said path of what you saw happen, but you also realized that it's put you into a place where you're stressing yourself out a little bit more by going through this other path. So that's the type of time I'm on right now. And it's translating into the business. It's translating into other aspects. So we're going to have a lovely conversation today because my mind be spinning, brother.
Bro, it's already
Hey, you already jumped into defensive
man.
decision making and all kinds of
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say. So Ricky's doing, he left the shoes alone. He's doing interiors. He's doing marriage counseling and grooming all in the same sentence. Brother, this is a hell of an intro, man.
Listen,
I love where this is going.
Listen, man.
Your wife left you because you got a handlebar mustache.
Yeah, he's like,
She did.
We don't appreciate your stash.
Listen,
I wish Noel on your life
Listen,
was the one that
I got to let it
that
go.
was for me.
Let it be known. On the way in, man, I was thinking about another thing. In 2021, we're going to dead code switching. Shut that shit down, too. Just for my folks out there and my people. Y'all see me rubbing my hands. Dead that shit. Y'all going to get the bag and the opportunity regardless being yourself. Authenticity is what is selling right now. They never wanted anything else. You ain't got to sell them on anything else. They want you. They may be playing hard to get, but they want you.
Man, you should see how faces look when I pull up to very specific meetings that I am the only person that looks like this inside of those meetings.
Right.
And right up until the point that we start talking and get to the real business of the situation, faces look a little different after we start that talk, man. So
Like, oh,
I
wait.
wholeheartedly appreciate that.
Who's this guy?
Man,
He's not the guy with the bagels?
No.
Now, brother Ricky, man, you know, the last time we touched down on these mics, it was 2019. It
Yep.
was June. The world was regular as we know it to this day.
Yeah.
And you coming in dropping these heavy gems, like off of, you know, I'm assuming this would be experiencing what has happened throughout quarantine, right? What other lessons can you say, you know, really happened for you in quarantine?
So, just to intro that, ironically, what most people, I don't think I've ever said in an interview, when I was in school initially, years back, I came out of high school initially wanting to do advertising and marketing. So it's ironic that I slipped into what I'm doing right now. But then, you know, that right before senior year, they always say, oh, well, we're going to start lining your classes up so you can prepare yourself for college. You got to talk to your guidance counselor about all that stuff. For some reason, I was like, listen, man, all my friends come to me with their relationship issues. So I want to do psychology, relationship counseling. So all that stuff stems from a place, and I ended up where I am. So it's ironic that all that happens. But what's happened for me, man, I got to say, whether it was family, friends, and things hitting home, I've been blessed enough to say that, like, yo, the pandemic hasn't been severely rough for me. And certain things within a mental and wellness space kind of prepared me for the pandemic. Like, you know, like I keep the crib secluded. Everybody don't know where I live. You know, a bunch of people think I stay here. A bunch of people think I stay there. Used to have places here. Used to do this. Used to do that. Used to be around in different spots. And I don't know, sleeping on people's couches stuff. Like, it was never no struggle in life. Like, you know, nah, we're not doing that. Respectfully, but slightly disrespectfully. You know.
We hear you.
Listen, I didn't go across country to chase my dreams. I didn't have to sleep on a couch. That wasn't what happened for me. But if you did and you made it, love to you. For me, never been a recluse or anything like that, but definitely had my quiet hours with the type of work and the type of things I'm involved in where, like, you know, didn't have people visiting the crib that much. I would go out and go see people and all that stuff. And for some people, I can understand, like, yo, having to be on the social scene, but me doing the social scene in the world that we're in the spaces that we're in New York City, it's a different type of thing. So it's like a lot of us weren't out partying and all that stuff every single night and all that stuff. Like how certain people, yo, I'm itching to get back outside. I need to be hooked up. I need to be over here. I need to be at this bar. I need to be outside. I need to be lit. I need to be turned up. Like, you know, I need to show out or show up or act out. Or I'm either showing out or acting out. For us, a lot of the stuff is like, you know, especially in the space I was in, it's private event this, private event that, drinks here, open bar, all that stuff, having a good time. But like, I'm 32 now. Like, I was off lounges at like 24. Like, I wasn't saying I'll do a lounge versus a club at like 23 or 24. So going out, being out, vacation, certain things, like I got a chance to explore the world through work. And not to say that's the only place that I'm doing it at, but it's just like, for me, I was kind of prepared to take some time to myself, prepared for things to slow down, because my natural space, my natural four walls are where I was naturally getting in tune with myself anyway. So where I saw some people struggling and going stir crazy and all that stuff, that wasn't what was happening for me. So the things that I mainly did, and y'all know I said it last time, iron sharpens iron. It's like, all right, bro, get in that mirror and reflect. So if you can't get the bag and you can't focus on certain things to elevate your company, your brand, your brothers, and all the other people you support, and not financially support, but the people you support, show love. If you can't elevate them in the physical right now, what can you do to support a lot of those people the same way? So beginning of last year, I started tapping in with a lot of folks like, yo, what can I do to help? Well, how do y'all need me? I mean, beyond, because shit, we talking hectic. Let's keep it a buck. Let's not forget, I wasn't in the house. Like, anybody that follows me knows, and I ain't saying I was outside, but I was listen, I was frontlining on a lot of the stuff that was going on. So if we talking about the social stuff that's going on, I wasn't hesitant to be out there. I was being responsible. I was making sure I was good, but I wasn't hesitant to be out there. So it's not like it was a situation where like, all right, man, I'm trapped in the house. I was like, nah, people need to see this through my eye. I need to make sure I'm ready and can support the people that have been supporting me for years in the best way possible. So if I can't host, I can't be here, we're not doing activations, all right, listen, Kid was established to do this. It's time to hit the ground running with that shit, And that's the type of time I was off of in 2020. So it's like, listen, focus on yourself, improve yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, where you can, improve the business, improve your talent and ability, because at the end of the day, the phone ain't gonna stop ringing, because people have always looked at you as a resource. And that's the thing I've always looked to be for anybody that I've partnered with, anybody that I supported, and all that stuff. I wanted to be a resource, and I was able to continue to do that last year, which I truly feel was a blessing.
That's what's up, Rick. I'm hearing a tremendous amount of growth and a wide aperture in terms of where your perspective is going right now, brother. What event or person or, combination of those things would you say attributed to that perspective shift the most? I mean,
man, I couldn't even say, man, because when we talked last time, Kid was just established. If we were talking June, Kid was established November 4th, 2018. So what are we, like 8 months out, initially? So there was still stuff where people were saying like, yo, let's figure it out, but we still want to work with you. And the funny part is, right after we did that last interview, we sat down, we talked and chopped it up. I ended up hosting Complex Con for Foot Locker on the Foot Inc. side. So they took me out to Chicago and was like, yo, you going to be our guy for the 3 days. And I think for me, the biggest thing that changed was the type of opportunity. So for me, it's definitely on layers. If I look at our time, not apart, but a time since, I'm gonna look at it at layers. Like, I definitely think that I really had to realize what space I was in certain things, because I know we talked about it before, like, deserving to be here and people not feeling like, it's like, yo, I want to believe I said it, the whole Tyler, the Creator, and Denzel thing.
For sure.
And
people know who you are.
Right. People know who you are. So when I've been past the rock, because that's how I look at it, it's like, yo, it goes from, yo, I'm open, to now it's just like, yo, we know you open. All right, cool. We already know you're going to make the shot. Don't let us down. So the thing is, like, it was so many of those situations. You had that, me hosting the series after somebody else left for Foot Locker. So I had my own series briefly, coming back, because we're all talking 19, just giving timeline, coming back and doing the second Complex Con and doing it in California. And then, for Foot Locker once again to bring me in and do All-Star Weekend. And, for me, that's like, yo, that's the biggest sneaker
that's
thing that we can
say.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so on that scale and just that hustle, and the thing was like, I'm not a person to naturally doubt myself. And I've also reached, like, some years ago, that point of wellness where you realize, like, listen, man, you got to know what you can control and what you're not in control of, and just float it out in the world and be comfortable with all aspects of what's going to happen with it. And just to see so many things just turn out without having the certainty. Because that's the thing. Like, you know, for me, Kid did well last year. In places shutting down, people not figuring out budgets. I remember conversations in March and April where the brands that I support and in the spaces that I support them in were like, yo, we're watching XYZ 100-year business shut down, layoffs. And idle hands started buying in a lot of the spaces that we're in. So the art spaces, the sneaker space, the fashion spaces, electronic spaces, people had that extra income from not going out to eat and not traveling and not doing so much. And unfortunately, people weren't saving, which worked out for me, you know, because the people that I'm supporting were like, oh, yo, we're in the black. We're at 120%. We're at 115% without brick and mortar. And I'm like, hey,
e-com, baby.
Right. E-commerce was booming. So now it's like, all right, what can you do? What else can you do? And I was like, well, all right, y'all, are y'all still focused on takeover space? Takeover space is cool, this and the third, you know, because there was so much different stuff going on last year. We got a lot of different types of advertising and marketing from a lot of these different brands and these different businesses. You know, there was the whole wave of in-home workouts and how people
trying to figure it out.
Right. It was early on where everybody was like, yo, we're going to go super fitness, all into that. And everybody's like, yo, all right, DoorDash is like, hey, order a salad tonight. And then Peloton's coming on. And then Adidas is doing this. And then Reebok's doing this.
Oh, I catalog every part of that.
Listen. And then we transitioned into a more conscious, you know, concern and marketing aspect, which I've heard a lot of people say like, yo, a lot of y'all made pledges to do different stuff and it's not materializing a year later. And I'm glad people are calling people out on their shit for not delivering on stuff just to get people to calm down. So we saw those different transitions through all the stuff. So it was like, all right, where do I want to support them at? How do I want to support them? And what's it going to be? So all y'all are stable. Most of my contacts are still where they are. For the other people that aren't, a lot of people have landed on their feet. And I've been, you know, in people's DMs, texting people, emailing people, just like, yo, listen, reminding people to know they're dope. Never forget who you are. You got this shit. It's going to work out. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. And just to see it manifest to be what it was. Now I'm just strictly focused on trying to empower everybody else. Because now I'm sitting there saying like, listen, man, I'm going to win regardless. And I'm not even competing. Like, there's so many notches of different like ideologies and points I'm at right now. And I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm in a bag right now with my thoughts because I've been.
Yo, you in a podcast?
Listen,
Yo, you deep in it.
It's kind of what you're supposed to do, fam.
We want that.
I'm sitting here right now where I realized two things. So I said it today where I said like, yo, you ain't really won if you at the table alone. So unless we talking sport, there's no point in competition. Anybody that's focused on competition, if you're strictly focused on competition, you ain't ever going to win. You're never going to elevate and be great. Let's simplify this. How you going to move forward if you're looking to the side? Walk forward looking to the side. Okay. Physically move forward looking to the left or right of you. Let's not even talk about behind, because some people are at the top looking who's behind them or looking who's below them. Like, oh, we need to focus on our competitors. Nah, bro. You need to focus on how you can make the best thing you can make, how you can elevate yourself, how you can outdo yourself. You're going to get to a different point when you stop looking at everybody else. When you stop looking at everybody else, you can challenge yourself to do shit you've never even thought of. But when you're putting energy into who's doing this, we need to outdo this. How you going to outdo yourself when you're trying to outdo somebody else?
I know that story all too well, bro.
Sheesh.
And that's one aspect. The other aspect of it is my confidence has intimidated people for some years, since I was younger. And I finally realized how to word it properly. Because somebody, oh, he's arrogant. I'm like, nah, man, if you ever really sat down with me, you realize I'm not arrogant. And I realized for me, far from a narcissist and far from arrogant, and the single reason I could realize it is because my greatness is independent of me. I ain't even thinking about nobody else. And I don't mean it in a bad way, because I'm extremely considerate and sensitive to other people. If I ever speak of some of the things I'm doing or what's going this, I'm not thinking about me being better than somebody else. I'm thinking about myself. My confidence in all the things that I'm doing great for whatever's going on are singularly rooted in what they are without comparison to anything or anyone else. And that's what it truly is, man. So the thing is, realizing those two things, if we're talking about things I've just come to and been able to just speak through and grow through and all those stuff, like I would look at others. Yo, I'm not doing enough. Me feeling like I'm not doing enough. People tell me like, yo, you're one of the hardest working dudes I know. You got your hands in everything, especially when the world was active. So for me, like I would look and say, well, damn, I need to be involved in. I didn't get this opportunity. I would have crushed this. Not so much of an envious point because I don't have a jealous bone in my body and that's not the way I move. But just saying like, damn, when's my turn going to get here? I stopped thinking about any of that shit and just said, you know what, man? Straight up now, you need to be outdoing yourself. How can you challenge your creativity? One thing that's been big for me is knowing my history now. So I'm studying other creatives and greats and all this stuff and how, you know, we all take inspiration and sharing the culture. Like the biggest thing that 2020 made me realize, and I'm gonna finish off on this and let us transition. It's enough out here for everybody. We can literally all be doing the same shit and all be successful on whatever capacity we dream it to be. Not like, oh, I want to be this dream. What you aspire to be. Yo, the thought that it's only one bag is too much poison perpetuated into people through whatever stages of life for us to be thinking that we got to take from somebody else. We got to compete with one another to be doing that. I knew I started to realize this point because somebody spun something to me and it was around the realm of, you know, and this isn't exactly what they said. It led me to this thought. Every opportunity I got took away an opportunity for somebody else. So first I went from thinking about getting the opportunities and, you know, wanting to be in the space. And then I started to get the opportunities. And then it was like, well, yo, you got to remember every opportunity you get was something taken from somebody else. And then I scrapped that shit too, because that ain't it. No. There are enough opportunities for all of us to win exponentially.
Man. Ricky, I'm signing up for Ricky's masterclass. I don't know about where y'all brothers is at. You know,
he came to pod today.
He came all the way to pod.
You know,
Ricky, I don't want to interject too much, but can you break out, kid, for the listeners out there real quick that might be new to what's going on?
All good. So I'm the founder of Know Your Dope. Know Your Dope is a creative consultant, content creative. I hate to say text-wise registered as a consulting agency, but it's just a content creative of a bunch of brothers I came up with. We just came together and after, like, you know, I left the publication and said, what do we want to do? And it initially said, well, we want to support the people that we used to work with and we want to do the stuff that we were doing on the side on a grander scale. So when people were having us come up with, yo, I never threw myself in the influencer category, but like, yo, as a content creator, we need you to come up with this set of content. Now it's like, all right, so I know the game already. Y'all have reduced your advertising and marketing teams and now have individual people as far as marketing as influencers out here doing the marketing and legwork for you. So kids out there, if y'all listening, you're an influencer or anything like this, hey, challenge that offer that they're giving you because I'm going to tell you right now, the money that they have netted from cutting positions at their company is far more than they've actually offered you for you to create what they would have paid multiple people, multiple salaries with multiple benefits and other packages and things like that to be able to create that content. So
step through that a little bit more because in that, a lot of people might be missing a lot of information that's real critical, especially if you are a creative of color.
Yep.
It tends to be, here's a shocking point, guys. I don't know if you've known, but they don't tend to like the blacks.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, say what?
And they don't tend to pay us
say word
market value across a wide plethora of things. So if racism is at the start of the system, it's all the way through the system.
Yep.
So what this brother just clearly articulated is the fact that if I reduced my cost of my labor, right?
We don't have an office anymore?
No, I don't. I've reduced all these things for my business and I give you a number that sounds big to you.
$8.
It might be big for you.
Right.
But that doesn't mean relative to all the value that you and, you know, your cohort are going to be able to go and establish because you're putting the battery in the back of whatever the thing is, right? You could take this, hey, we see that you know how to move this crowd and they try to emulate you. We want to give you this product.
Right.
If you accelerate that product and you get none of the returns of that acceleration that you've done on that product, guess what you've just done? And that's what you're talking through, right?
Exactly. And I'm going to get to the kid team, but because you brought that up right now, I'm going to dive into conversations that I've actually had. Like I'm sitting on boards right now. I'm on advisory boards for companies to help them get to certain places. People are having me consult on that scale and having Kid consult to say, how can we get this to the right places? How can we transition this and make this blossom into what we want it to be? So let me break this aspect of it down. Yo, I want my work on 34th and 7th like anybody else. You know, I believe I've been featured there before or something, but I want it to be some content that I created and fully crafted and all that stuff, or we created and wanted to be there. What's the net return as far as sales driven from that?
Oh, that's a loss leader, I would say.
That's that. You're going to take an L on that.
Right. So none of y'all, if we went down Santa Monica Boulevard and looked at all the billboards and all that stuff, we know how much it costs to put the billboard up there, but we do not know the actual return on said advertisement. And this is what marketing and advertising has been
since the beginning of time.
Inception. Right. Yeah. Okay. So we've all established that. So influencers out there, creatives out there, how could you let a brand deem your value by either sales transactions, link clicks, unique link clicks? How can that dictate the value of your content to that brand? They can't tell you how much the commercial returned in sales. They can't tell you how much the billboard returned in sales. But you can let them tell you that you were less valuable because you didn't return X amount of sales. Question for all three of y'all brothers. How many of y'all swipe up on a unique link when somebody mentions a product? Or do y'all go through a Google or browser or something else to look at it, collect a deal or something like that? Do you check link in bio, click on someone's, follow my link in this place and say, oh, I'm gonna buy the product directly from there? Does that happen for y'all?
For the homies, occasionally.
Right, occasionally.
If I know you.
If I recognize your
Strictly
face,
for the
I might
homies.
swipe in
Yeah.
that place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But even if the product's dope, so that's one scale of it. Even if you love the product, you may buy it through another method, even if you saw it in one place. I will leave said platform, open up the internet and go search for what I'm looking for, but I saw it and wanted to buy it because I saw it here.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm a brand, I'm going to say, well, this person didn't follow your pathway, so they didn't buy it because of you. That's not the case.
See, Ricky took the red pill before he came up.
He took both. He
all
took
the
the
way.
purple
He
pill.
took the purple pill. Oh, definitely on that purple pill. Duality, baby.
I love it. I'm loving where we're at. I'm about to plug in.
So where I'm sitting there going with this is everybody out there, and this is just my opinion, please stop accepting, and this may get me fried from certain people. I don't really care. Stop accepting percentage agreements. We'll pay you based upon the percentage of how many sales you returned on this. Stop accepting that, for one. Stop accepting product exchanges for not the right product. Understand that aspect completely. I've heard people say, yo, for every person that accepts this product for lower than what they really should, you've now hurt the rest of us because they think they can do this. Okay. I'm not going to tell you out the gate, make certain demands, but if you're strictly doing product exchanges like, yo, hey, can you put together this concept and we're going to give you a couple of products? Fuck no. Fuck no, man. Like, listen, I've had people tell me everything has a cost when I've asked for certain things as far as product. Like, yo, could y'all hit me off with seeding this? Yo, everything's got a cost, bro. You got to understand that. I've had other people say, yo, I'm not having you step out the house for less than. I'm not going to confuse myself by saying, if no money coming out of your pocket, don't hit me with the corporate job when everything got a cost. My one pair of whatever or this gear that I asked you to take care of me for this event so I can make sure your brand is front side, it ain't going to cost you that much. And it should have been accounted for already. You'll be fine. So, what I say to the creatives out there, we ain't got to get into haggling. You ain't got to go as far as haggling. But continue to know your dope. Know your worth. Trust your greatness. And don't say yes to everything. And if you are going to do, let's say, product exchange because it's early in the relationship with someone, think of it from that ideology. This is early within my relationship with said person. I am going to try to parlay and morph this into something else. Remember this, kids. And I don't mean kids as KYDS just yet.
See what you did.
Yo, Every opportunity has to be mutually beneficial. They're not doing you no motherfucking favors, and do not let them dangle that proverbial carrot over your head and make you think that, hey, you should feel lucky just to be working with us. Fuck that. You knew who I was. You knew why you wanted me. You knew why we talking right now. So let's talk business, because this is business. And treat it like business and respect me like it's business, especially when it comes to our people of color. I mean, all people of color, respectfully. I'm specifically talking about black influencers right now. When I just said what I said right now, I'm not knocking anybody else, but if we look at the pay rate for certain things, when it comes down to people that are not black, they are not having to go through half the struggle you are to get off the creative ideas, to get through concepts, to get certain payment. Okay, no, that's reasonable. We've got extra budget this month, sorry. Like, you know, we're fine on our fiscals.
Yeah, they'll find some money if they need to.
And here's the thing, that one of the grandest things I've learned is, like, listen, man, for all my true creatives out here, when I mean creatives that actually conceptualize, I don't mean this as a shot. I mean people that actually create, develop treatments, do anything of that scale, develop sets, create art, digital design, UX, any of that stuff for anybody. And you do it as an individual and you're contracted to bring it in. Stop motherfucking thinking people that are valuing you more by giving them a discount on the rates. You're hurting yourself, because what's real is that extra 20, 30%, you thought you were saving them by giving them a discount, because you basically probably gave them a rate under the number that you gave them a safe rate in your mind initially, and then cut down 20% on that just to lock it in to make sure they didn't think you were too expensive. They would have paid you that rate you would have wanted ideally. Not the rate you settled on and not the rate you agreed on the discount joint. So you stepped yourself down twice. That rate you were talking about and thinking of, they'll turn around and pay somebody that shit next month with no hesitation. Throw your number out.
Yeah, you should know if the deal closes really fast, you didn't ask for enough.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yo, we could pay you today. You'd be like, damn.
Right.
I didn't. Can I move my comma? Let me move my comma. Hold up. My comma's in the wrong place.
Right.
Shit, I didn't ask for the right thing.
Speaking of that, too, because you made up a good point, because I'm having a lot of conversations with a lot of circles. And the thing is, my relationship right now are more personal than it is business. I'm sitting with y'all brothers because it's straight up personal. It's not business.
Love, brother.
So people got to understand this. And I have different conversations. And, you're not doing nobody no favors.
Got to educate.
You got to.
And there's a problem with how transparency. I really want to preach radical transparency from here on out, especially for people that are coming up in these new fields that are, on the side or adjacent to where marketing, to where creative, and to where all of the rest of these things come through. You don't know what to look out for if nobody told you
right.
to look out for.
Right.
And it might be something that's really new and emerging because the platforms have changed or your output as a creator has changed, but the same old tricks is being played out.
Right.
And that's kind of the biggest thing. The tech has changed, the distribution has changed, but we still getting the same result. Hey, I'm going to try to get more out of you than you're actually worth.
Of course.
At every turn. Because that's the American way at the
end
of
the day. It is.
So
it's capitalism.
That is capitalism.
And the more we have conversations that bounce back and forth like this, I think it does help in the erasure of some of that, the culture that is put in place to exploit. And if we retain that value and we uplift that value, my brother, I feel like that's going to be the direction that we need to go into. How y'all brothers feel about that?
It doesn't behoove us to keep information from each other. And just like you said about competition, like the competition thing within us, within our circles, with each other or against other creatives is crazy. We're already fighting a system.
Yep.
So you can't fight a system by yourself.
Right.
You have to create a system that can fight a system. So you have to share that information with others. You have to pass that info. Yo, what did you get paid on this gig? Where are they offering this?
Right.
So now you know this is what this really has to be. So when you talk transparency, you got to talk the whole full thing. Like what's being said, what happened in that room. So when you know you can trust someone and you know you can really have a conversation with them, have the whole conversation. Right. You'd be surprised how much information you miss out on by trying to keep things low or being like quiet about what you're doing. Right. And whenever someone asks you to keep something quiet, it's because they're cheating you.
Oh, of course. Like, please don't mention this to anybody.
Keep this on the hush.
Listen.
Sign this paperwork.
Right. So one gem, one nugget, one message I'm going to give to y'all real quick. Because I see a lot of my creative people getting an opportunity, and y'all fuck it up early. Please, for any of y'all, stop demanding your money up front. Oh yeah, I'm down. Y'all got to pay me half before I come in. This ain't somebody's birthday. They're not booking you as an entertainer. Mm-hmm. Understand your net 30s. Businesses deal in net 30s. If y'all aren't comfortable with that, y'all never gonna get your business where y'all wanted to be as individual consultants, creatives, and things like that.
Before you go any further, because see, like, you in here dropping gems, like, you really took that purple pill before you came, right?
Ready.
And
turned up.
I'm just here hearing the growth, seeing the growth, and thinking about, like, when we first met, and, you know, long back with the magazine company and all that above, right? A lot of the dealings we have with people, especially the listenership and Off the Strength, is the entrepreneur aspect and the value aspect. Right. So you come in, you drop in a net 30. There's people out here that don't even know what a net 30 is. You know what I mean? My question to you would be more along the lines of, you have acquired this knowledge over the years of being in the business, of being face to face with these brands and these companies. Like, where did everything come from? You know what I'm saying? Where did this value come from? Where did you learn that, you know what, I can't settle for this, right? I need to bet on myself. I need to take this entrepreneurship to the next level. I need for lack of a better word, creative agency with the people around me to move this way. Where did that knowledge come from?
I mean, a lot of it came from, ironically, not seeing the things I imagine, ironically.
Okay,
so we can talk about that on a couple of different scales. So let's take it back to the time when we used to buy CDs. My circle used to have an innate skill to be able to figure out what the next single off an album was before you heard it. Now, not the joints that generally sound like, oh, this sound like some shit that's on the radio.
You knew what was up next.
Right. But them joints is like, oh, nah, this shit is catchy.
This the one.
This the one.
Yeah.
So when y'all used to listen to albums back then, when visuals and things like that, so I'm gonna drive into it. Did y'all have a vision for how music videos would be for certain songs before they came out?
I
Most
do.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
And how many times was the music video not the fuck
Every
what
time.
you felt from this song?
Except for Hype Williams.
Yeah, he over-delivered.
You know?
And Spike Jones to a different extent.
There you go. That's that same feeling that I saw with the industry. It's like, yo, product, release, whatever's going on, it's not happening the way my mind sees this happening. One tier of it. Second tier. Damn. And that's why I'm so grateful for 2020, and I'll get into that in a second. It ain't enough of us in the rooms. You know? And shit, if I'm a nigga, you want to say it from that aspect. And I mean, I don't mean like, hey, you're black, so automatically. I mean like, yo, we're from, of, culture, whatever. And I say it with pride when I say that. I don't mean it from a form of ignorance. I mean it from a form of saying like, yo, no, it's black, but it's not authentic. It's not of culture. It's not of our humor. Because we can laugh and joke about shit that isn't humorous. Naturally, because of how we are and us being the original kings and queens of the earth and all that stuff. And y'all know where I'm going with that. We are the original people. You know, y'all know where I'm going with that. You know, being the product of everything. This is why we handle ourselves with such benevolence. This is why our natural state is so infectious and so replicated. And this is why people don't understand. And I'm not saying that against any other people, because I believe there's so many beautiful things and so many cultures that exist throughout the world. You know, we talked about it last time when I said, yo, life's more than what y'all see outside y'all window. What I see, I may think the world is, but somebody else going to see something in another corner of the world, and that's what life is. There's so many beautiful cultures out here. So I'm not saying better than any other, because that's not in our spirit. It's why we're so forgiving when things happen, why we naturally move in a different direction with certain things, because it's in us to be above certain things, but not having what is authenticity in the spaces it needed to be in. And what I liked from 2020 was people said, fuck the money. And I mean the brands, the people at the brands, my point of contacts at the brands, fuck the money. And I don't mean keeping my job. Most relationships now, like we talked about, are personal based. Cool, you may be able to drive this, you're a dick. I don't really like you. You were complicated to work with. Stop being difficult to work with. Hey, my people, stop being difficult to work with. And don't think, hey, I'm particular. I just like to do things a certain. Yo, don't nobody want no fucking drama.
You should keep your situation free of drama. So, Ricky, you're laying out a lot of really intricate thoughts inside of that perspective. But I will go back to one of the earlier thoughts where somebody might have accused you of being arrogant, right? Mm-hmm. In that same line of thought, we have certain terms that weaponize us when we are the first in those rooms.
Oh, yeah.
So being difficult is one of those weaponized terms.
Yes.
Being somebody who is aggressive is one of those weaponized terms. And it is a way to kind of keep you in your place. We like you here. We see your value, but know your role. It's really what that is distilled to. So that's the only part that I was like, hey, I see the pushback to that, because not everybody, some people, if you showing up, you need to be good at what you're doing. You need to be nice to everybody, and you probably should be on time. You only need to get 2 of those right to kind of keep a job. If you can't get all 3 of those, you probably fucked something up inside, right? Somewhere along the lines, we get labeled all of these like really just erosive kind of terms.
Not a team player joint.
You're not, man. And then you start to look around and it's like, actually, wait a minute, hold on. This is because I'm trying to translate something that I know that you don't know.
Right.
And the abrasion comes from the fact that I had the audacity to point out that you were wrong.
There we go. It's pure ego.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You're not supposed to tell me that.
Exactly.
And that's indoctrinated and perpetuated through home. Like, racism is taught, hatred is taught.
Built into the same system.
Listen, so we talking about the same thing. And I wanted to jump back to something that you started to talk about that I started to talk about that we was talking about when we was talking about what we was talking about, because I was talking
back
about
in
it.
The day
Back. We talking about the whole competition thing. I do know where that comes from for African Americans.
Oh, come on, brother. Come on.
So let's break this down very simply.
Open up the barrel.
So I want you to understand the reason why us as black folks have a tendency to say, oh, yo, you can't be shining too much. They're going to take what you got. And we feel the need to compete with our people in our community instead of naturally uplifting our people in the community. It's strictly off of, black fights and the things that them pitting us against each other. Y'all seen Django. That shit was real.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you want the good piece of chicken? Hey, we got some of the extra chicken tonight. You want a good hot piece of chicken? Fight to the death. Fighting over scraps. So we naturally, within our culture, from those points in time, had it pushed into us to get anything good or decent, we have to compete with the people around us. That was never the motherfucking case.
It's a scarcity mindset that you hard code into people, and it keeps you divided so you can conquer.
And that's the thing. My man told me, he was like, yo, bro, the physical aspect of what slavery did was immense, but the greatest atrocity that was done were the mental blocks that were placed upon our people. That shit, we're still feeling the effects of that today.
Oh, we put them up on our wall, brother, but I'm not even going to get into that.
Listen,
I'm going to step to the other side.
Listen.
But that's like the next layer of code switching, is stepping into a business environment and trying to make sure you're not aggressive or causing a conflict or being abrasive. It's like, it's beyond let me change the tone of my voice, let me change how I act, let me change how I speak. Let me make sure that I don't use certain phrases and protect myself from you using certain phrases so that I'm not interpreted in this fashion.
Right.
Too aggressive?
Right.
Really?
Right. Because we're aggressive, somebody else is assertive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
forthright. Well, you know what? I like him. He's a chippy kind of guy. He's scrappy.
Sticks to his guns.
He sticks to his guns. Listen, I gotta be honest. I gotta admit, he may be unorthodox, but damn it, he gets the job done. And he sticks to his guns. He sticks to his roots. He's a man of his word.
He's a firecracker.
Listen.
Hey,
that guy he's a pioneer and an innovator.
Got his nose to the
This guy
grind.
over here, he's not
Prime-time
slick.
player.
He's not quite polished.
Right.
But this guy,
God.
he pulled himself up from his bootstraps.
Listen,
Yeah.
man, so many points, and that shit was so triggering to me right now. I've heard some of the shit that's prepared me for the world that I was in. I told y'all when I was working corporate world way back and had certain conversations and shit like that, man, and was lucky enough to have leadership roles to prepare me to. I talked to people that owned businesses on small, medium business side and dealt with B2B shit, business to business shit. So now I can talk to a CEO and still point out like, oh, all right, so what are your pain points? People, Jim right there. I mean, let me break this shit down. Fuck that. I'm almost going to sit up for this.
Yo, this is the master class, baby.
Right.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Stop trying to tell people what you can do for them based upon your abilities. Start asking, what do you need? That's why y'all not getting no work. Y'all are out here trying to showcase, and nothing wrong with showcasing your ability, but you are not solving people's problems. What you're pitching is not their direct need at the moment. It's not in demand, supply and demand. The only way to find that out as somebody that has a business that's perpetuating yourself with your own talent is to simply ask, how can I make your job easier? What can I take off your plate? What's not going right now? And the funny part is so many of my relationships will be fully transparent about things that should be internal. And I'm not saying they're giving me like, blueprints and shit and telling me like, yo, this motherfucker. It's just like, man, I'm having a little bit of annoyance with this, that, and third. All right. I don't address it in the moment because you never go to solve a person's problem immediately when they tell you. Hey, I remember we talked about this thing before. I've been thinking about it a little bit. I think maybe I could step in and maybe do this for you. Or maybe I know somebody that can connect the dot here and bridge the gap. Provide a resource and cover a need. And stop trying to have the look at me, I can do a cartwheel. Nigga, fuck your cartwheel. I want a nigga that does a somersault right now when you talking to me about cartwheels.
I think we just found an episode name though, but I definitely
Fuck your cartwheel.
Right. That's what I want. That's it.
We can't be our worst enemy when other people are already our enemies.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot that's born from that scarcity mindset and the need to feel like you have to over deliver on your value and prove to yourself how much you're worth before you prove to the people that are on the other side of writing the checks how much you're worth. That is a perpetual issue, my friend. And I hear that you've been in the dojo. Ricky showed up.
Listen.
He ready to rock, my man.
Listen, man. Because the thing is, once again, we spin back to they're talking to you for a reason. Stop over delivering. Stop over delivering. Unless it's necessary. Like there's a few moments where it's nice to put, hey, I threw some extra biscuits in here for you. Enjoy that.
Strategically.
Because we're not strategic.
Yeah, a little Easter egg.
We're not always strategic.
Oh, fuck that. I am.
Listen, we're not always strategic and we don't always move with tact. And those are two things that make things very tough. Understand business and business. Business does not have to be cutthroat, but understand things are not personal. And we can't take everything personal. And when we do take things personal, keep in mind, your spouse isn't feeling it. Your partner's not feeling it. Your kids aren't feeling it the same way unless you're projecting and casting onto. Those feelings are internal within you. You're the one feeling it. You're taking that shit personal. It's burning you up and you're not performing at whatever level you need to be, whether that's a partner, a friend, a family member, an employee, a consultant, a partner as far as partnerships, and I meant spousal partner or relationship partner on the other side. Yeah. Like, yo, bro, like, dead that shit.
Yo, Ricky, I want to ask you a real quick question. Do you also happen to have a time machine? Because that piece of information would have been helpful possibly 2 years ago. But today, yeah, some shit had to be personal. Ricky, I believe that some bridges just got to burn.
Right? You mean
business right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
B2B.
The B2B, not anything else that you was talking about.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Got me.
I'm working on it. Like I
That's
just need
exactly it.
Listen, I just got to find a crazy white guy that's not 2021 crazy. Like I need him to be 80s crazy with a garage.
With a lab coat.
Right. Because 2021 crazy is a bit
level
different.
Different turn up.
It ain't no Back to the Future.
80s crazy. You trying to build a DeLorean?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
man.
Listen,
flux capacitor, all that. 2021 crazy, it might be like, yo, the earth is flat.
Listen, Earth is flat. It's UFOs.
I got this vaccine for you.
I got the vaccine for you.
Tesla. I got it.
Listen,
Cell phone towers are spying and giving you cancer at the same time.
Listen.
You all
They
that
ever
shit.
found that fifth G?
Nah, it's all good.
It's
man.
coming soon.
The four of them G's almost got everybody.
right.
If they got that fifth one out, that would have been it.
Listen,
Wow.
yo, keeping it a buck.
Elon's
that was
an
the
alien.
most outlandish. And I give everybody their time. For all y'all that said 5G caused like COVID and amplified it,
Come on, man. That's not true.
Nah.
You sure?
there's islands.
All I know is every time I cough, my bars go up.
Right.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hey, I need you guys to visit some of those non-colonized islands. That's all I want y'all to do. For
Now
all
you
So they can
probably
bring COVID
actually,
over there?
See,
No.
we getting off the track right
no,
now.
because people don't know the backstory behind those.
doing this.
We can't have that one. But and then also the last person that visited one of them uninhabited islands, they sent that dude back.
Was he?
He was not alive when he was on his way back.
And that's exactly why I said what I said. There we go.
With that being said, we going to transition.
Off the strength.
Ricky, man.
Don't take that color pill.
You done came in and you've dropped gym after gym, which I expected, but like you must have you had this on your heart, brother.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it had to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell you to leave a gym for the folks, but you didn't left so many as is. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna ask from you is, as we come to the end, is I need you to plug this Know Your Dope. I need you to let the people know what it's about, what you're doing. How can they be involved with you so that they can continue to support you, brother?
Definitely. So looking at people like Cam, looking at people like Nelly, I'm not the bag. I'm not the prize. I watched that model because, respectfully, Nelly was better than everybody after.
And he cut the St. Lunatics right the fuck out.
Yep. Cam, everybody else is dope. Loved the dips. Was listening to Dip on the way, but Cam was the prize. But he tried to set people up. Jay attempted to do the same thing, but wasn't from a organic, full growth we came up together, unless you're talking about Biggs and him and Dame met at a point and it was put on together. And I mean that respectfully. So with my team, we organic. So the thing is, I just happen to have the ball right now. And that's my responsibility. Or I had the ball. Correction. I had the ball. So at the end of 2019, getting into it with Kid, at the 1 year anniversary, I made the 5 brothers that started it with me and helped me figure it out and say, yo, you got your own company. I made them owners of the company. I split ownership and staking. I gave them all substantial shares within the company, to the point that I don't have the power to make any decision on what happens with the company, whether we were to stay, sell, go under or whatever, on my own. So I only have 50% of that company left, and it's the other 50% is split between the 4 brothers. I got the lion's share because of how things worked out and things like that, but we're not going to get into that. But trust me, all my brothers get their financials, and we rotate that lion's share depending on who brings what to the table. So some of y'all, hey, hear what I just said right now. I give up my lion's share for opportunities my brothers cultivate and initiate on their own. And within that, we have things like Jab Bites. So we talked about it. Brothers expanding into the food. You see the kids' meal stuff. You see, yeah, I'm trying that. There's kid tech coming out. Like, we're stepping into tech realms. Like, you know, my guys are all creative consultants. You know, I creative direct, they creative consult. They give ideas. So now they can speak to some of the same. You could sit them down and they can talk you through stories, and they have their own stories. And that's what 2020 was about. 2020 was about empowering them to say, yo, what do you want your baby to be? Yeah, I want to do food shit. Cool. I want to do tech shit. Cool. I want to do interior design, lifestyle shit. Cool. I want to do additional type of photography stuff that we're not covering. Cool. All right. Y'all have fully been empowered to do it. Let me put that into action without sitting there saying like y'all are piggybacking, because my guys aren't, I won't say fully prideful, but they want to build it on their own. It's like, yo, we don't want people to fuck with kids' meals because they fuck with you on kids. We want the genuine people that are like, yo, I fuck with the shit that they're doing, and they want to build it right. But sharing the game, sharing the wealth. And from there on, like, bro, that's where it's at. So KYDS Meals. If y'all are into food, any of that stuff on any scale, just whether it's abstract food that you don't naturally see in certain places, whether it's different restaurants doing on the you know, God rest him since he passed afterwards, like the Bourdain style stuff. Oh, we got that.
That's the architect right there.
Yeah, man. Like, and just as authentic as he did it, because he was who the fuck he was.
No reservation,
with that.
Baby.
Right. You know, so we embody shit like that, man. So like there's that aspect of it. We're branching out and having different conversations, because coming from the magazine, and a lot of those guys helped me with a lot of stuff when I was at the magazine and all that stuff. I was doing so much. It wasn't just fashion. It wasn't just tech. It wasn't just automotive. It wasn't just sports. It wasn't just entertainment. It was fully encompassed in so many things. So those guys are doing a lot of different things. I'm beyond proud of them because they're cultivating their own opportunities right now, and it's dope as fuck.
Man, that's fucking phenomenal, bro. Yo, one, again, just tremendously proud of everything that you just laid out, brother.
Y'all, man.
And really and truthfully mean that in the light in me sees and reflects the light inside of you for everything that you just laid out, especially down to the last part where it's making you proud to see your brothers take whatever it is that they want to do, plug it in and amplify that whole situation. My man, I can tell you right now, there's a space called wellness that I've been trying to do the exact same fucking thing for a very long time. And I am extremely happy, and I feel like buoyed, like lifted by this whole just everything that you're talking about on the marketing side and how extensive that goes into play. Before I go into the line of questions that I want to do about just how you set up your brothers and everything else, I know that along with the freedom that I hear you speak with from trusting in yourself, knowing you're dope, and seeing everything start to click and it's working.
Yeah.
There's a weight that comes with everything working too. Talk to me a little bit about how you deal with that side of the game.
So I think it actually ties to some of the stuff we talked about. So the weight that comes with that is one of the things I still have to work on within my points of wellness is I'm a perfectionist. And being a perfectionist, you want your work to be at a certain scale. Being a perfectionist, if business is going well for me and the rest of the brothers a kid ain't doing well, I'm not doing well. How the fuck can I be eating right now and my brothers are bricking?
Yeah.
That ain't it. So that point of responsibility of, all right, if I clear the pathway, because the biggest thing I think about, and not even just the fact the kid, is I am not a guy that went to school for this. Respect all my brothers that did it. I wasn't a guy in a frat. All my sisters as well with the sororities. I did not build those connections that way. I ain't gonna say I came in like Snoop and came in and started kicking down buildings and kicking down doors and shit. I'm not gonna go that far, but I'm clearing out a path for people like me to get through there in an unorthodox manner. The weight that comes along with those things that I was talking about as far as, getting right with yourself when you stop focusing and looking outward and strictly looking inward. One, the weight is, it's got to be to a certain scale. Then the second part, and this doesn't keep me up at night, is I need to outdo myself. So, hey, listen, we talked about albums a little bit earlier. We all know people that, this motherfucker dropped a classic. Next joint, it's like, I ain't feeling it as much.
Yeah.
Some people, whether it's imposter syndrome, and people, please look that up. Imposter syndrome from a psychological standpoint, that's a big thing. And that's when you start to feel like you don't deserve the accolades and things that you're receiving and like, I shouldn't have this. That is a tough thing. It's a psychological thing to deal with. It's something that I definitely think people should talk about because it can be built from there. Because then people start to say like, it was lightning. It was a one-off. You start to think your own thing was a one-off, you are fucked. And, I can't make that happen again. I can't capture that moment. Everything aligned perfectly. I can't redo that. Stop thinking about redoing it. Never think about redoing it. Understand what your scale is. Understand what your level is. And then do something else and understand, is it at this level? Whatever that is. Like I know I just said something that's like a little cryptic and a little vague, but basically it's like, listen, I don't need to make another Big Mac as an example. The Big Mac is McDonald's. Don't nobody eat
We got the Big Mick.
Right. I need to make sure that my fish sandwich.
Coming to America too.
Cracked himself up with it, though. The way his own jokes slapped him.
That punchline kicked in Kyle's world. That punchline was
those in Jonesland.
Yeah, in Jonesland. That shit.
They know where I was at with it.
Those are y'all in Jonesland. Y'all heard the
view was out
joke.
in
Congratulations.
I knew.
So McDonald's wasn't focused on making a better Big Mac, reduplicating the Big Mac and the love for the Big Mac. It was like, all right, I need to make sure my nuggets is as good as possible for whatever I feel that is. I need to make sure my fish sandwich is as good as possible. I need to make sure when the people drink my Sprite that they got to tap their neck every time because there's literally electricity in that shit. So like...
Got to make sure my ice cream machine broke.
Listen, exactly. So the thing is...
Supply and demand, Corey.
Once again, we have to go back to the thing that keeps me from having those things hanging over me is I strictly look at everything on an individual scale. What is the best thing this can be? How do I make this thing itself individually the best it can be independently of anything else? Don't think about shit else. Just focus on making that thing the best it is. And from a wellness standpoint, please expand that and apply that to other things. Don't worry about if you're a runner. Yes, please monitor your times and stuff like that, but don't solely let your greatest time haunt you. How is this run today going to be the best run it can be under these specific conditions? And people have to be comfortable with saying, I'm okay with that. I'm happy with this. That's the biggest point probably for me within wellness to say like, you know what? I'm proud of this within a scale. I don't look at my other work and say, oh, yo, I need to outdo or deliver on the same scale. Like, nah, fuck that. I need this to be the greatest thing it can be within what it is. And that's not like, there's two sides to that. And I'm using the word great specifically because there's the people that like, you don't believe, oh, yo, it's good enough. This is the best it's going to be. Like, nah, this shit has to be great. Still got to be great. But focus on it being great individually, man. And at that point, you don't have that shit hanging over you no more.
Man, I referenced Neil Gaiman earlier, but I come to this brother all the time talking about making good art, no matter what the circumstance is, in times of strife, in times of progress, in times of rejoicing, in times of sorrow, making good art. And right. I see you have art in all the different facets of what your enterprise is over there, Ricky. And I do really respect that. Now, you had me intrigued at the tech side, but that's not going to be an on-camera conversation. That's going to be an off-camera conversation. Off the strength, off the cam. You know, there's a lot of different things that we can have those conversations on that side.
Hey, listen, but see, that's another thing y'all could, off the strength, off the cam.
Come on now.
Hey, listen, market it. Make it
Patreon right there.
Listen. We got this. This is all coming together, man.
We got out stuff. Man.
We can talk about Dave Nuts.
We are not talking about this, man. Hit TV timeout again, Dave.
With the flavor tape.
Hit the second TV timeout.
I was going to run with that. I was going to be like, yo, so are Dave's nuts in the fridge? So, Dave, are your nuts cold right now? Or are they out in
Dave nuts is out room temperature.
They're room
nuts,
temperature.
God.
As we come to a close here, man, as the sun sets and the night falls,
and never mind, somebody's gonna call.
And that woman calls. We gonna slide past all of that, brother Ricky, man. We are appreciative of you and your time, man, and pulling up. I guess how we gotta end this. Since you did drop a gem, what's the last gem you have on your heart, off the strength, that you could give to people so that they could put their best foot forward and continue to know they dope, to live in that light, to be who they need to be off the strength.
Continue to challenge your own reality.
See, I knew you was on that Morpheus shit, bro.
Yo, definitely. Because, I mean, we talk about, like, I can get into a whole conversation about gaslighting and all that stuff and reality. And, hey, listen, gaslighting happens in the professional world as well. And don't forget, they will undersell you on some shit and have you thinking you are something you are not. That's why Off the Strength exists. Continue to challenge your own reality. Growth is the greatest thing in life. It should be one of the biggest focuses in life, perpetually moving forward. What you are now, what you are in this moment does not define who you are forever. What you've done now, whether any transgressions or anything like that, well, depending, I can't say any, some shit is
unforgivable.
Right, like that handlebar mustache. But
he got a point though. Like, come on, fam. Like,
coming for the Tom Selleck.
He said a lot of dope shit, but that was the fucking gem right there. Fuck your handlebar mustache.
We wish no wellness on your life,
man. Like, continue to challenge your reality. You know, which just means, man, with the confines of what you believe today, don't let that be forever.
Expansion,
always
growth, knowledge, universal power. I see where this brother's going. Right. We're going to tap into the matrix together, brother. I'm here for this. I want to go into I see the ones and zeros already, man. I'm excited.
I'll watch the door. Somebody got to watch the door, man.
Key man. Where my keys at?
Where's the key?
Hey, listen.
Key maker.
Don't be the key maker. He died.
He served the purpose.
All right.
Hey.
Once again, this has been another fantastic episode of Off the Strength. I am KR Jones.
Kyle, I like how you reserve your projection voice for the very end of the show.
So you just fuck the audio all up. All right, y'all.
I'm a trainer called Tony.
You're a trainer, Corey, a.k.a. Thug Bubble.
Okay.
Hey, man. I don't know if I can follow up Thug Bubble.
I told you nobody's taking that. I told you.
I don't know. I told you.
Nobody's accepting Thug Bubble.
Listen.
Ricky, can you let the good people know where they can find you and follow you?
Hey, man, listen.
Out here bubbling.
Yo.
You're not rolling with Thug Bubble? Y'all not trying to put that on your menu?
I want to know how it was established.
You don't want to know nothing about Thug Bubble.
The episode.
Got
the Thug Bubble episode is coming.
I want to know if it's Bubble Guts that he thugged out.
See,
like,
that's what the
Thug
original
Bubble
was.
on the theater near you.
Got it. Like,
Thug Bubble.
Is he thugging on the bubble? Is shit maybe about to go left?
Listen,
nah, but
we're all confused.
Was it All-Star Weekend?
Right. Were you in the bubble? Were you
thugging at the bubble?
Shit.
Nobody knows.
You thugging on the
Dave's
bubble?
nuts there.
Right,
It's
like,
crazy. You
oh,
don't know
see,
what's going on.
You address Dave's nuts while I'm talking about the bubble. See, I'm
There's
talking.
there's a lot happening.
I hear you.
Hey,
I tried to close the show long ago. I just want you to know that.
but IG Space Camp Fresh, Twitter Ricky Shoebio. I barely use it, but y'all can check me out there. I don't have the thought provoking stuff there. I use my IG. And bigkids.com, BIGKYDS.com. And like I said, check out Kids Meals, spelled the same way, KYDS Meals, and Jab Bites, JABBITES. And those are the kid-related factions at the moment that we're pushing, man. Catch me in a bunch of different places. Right now, check out all the work I do with my lovely family over at Foot Action right now. So if you like dope sneakers,
I do.
how about that?
I mean, you see we have a product table here that's currently being occupied.
I get it. Listen, listen, blessed me. I should have thrown it on today, but it's, day that I was like, yo,
Gotta
you
get
know
the
what?
Air Maxes in.
Yeah, gotta have some Maxes on, man.
I know. He reminded me. I fucked up. I ain't even.
Listen, I wasn't gonna say nothing. I almost said something when I walked in because I was hurt.
I failed.
No, it's
My
all right.
fault. I was on Stripe Time, man, but I wasn't even in pearl.
Hey, listen.
Yo, the parallelogram threw me off, fam.
Everything was all fucked up, man.
That perpendicular cut me up.
Peace and much love to y'all out there. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Peace. What's good, everybody? I'm a trainer called Tony, and I am here from the infamous Off the Strength podcast, asking you today, listeners, viewers, wherever you may be, to please like, listen, and subscribe to our podcast. This is how we're going to continue to be able to deliver you the best goddamn wellness information out here. So if you want to keep hearing this, and you want us to keep growing, you are a part of this show just as much as anything else. So please go to offthestrength.com. Make sure you check out our blogs. Make sure you check us out on IG. And if you're hearing this voice and you didn't hit that subscribe button, know that Kyle is going to come looking for you.
You got that right.